Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Lowry at Home. This is episode 30. So excited you are here. I am Naturalist Kirk, and it's exciting to be here with you. Now, we've got a couple fun things going on today. First up is Josh. I know what you're thinking. What I heard from the bird nerd? Nope. Apparently, it's what I heard from the beaver nerd. Take it away, Josh.
Greetings. I'm Josh from the Lowry Nature Center, and I'm on Lunston Lake in Carver Park Reserve. Some of you know me from the What I Heard from the Bird Nerd segment, but today while I was out exploring on the lake, I came across evidence of a beaver. Now the evidence I came across was a log that had been chewed on, and you could see teeth marks on the end of it. Beavers chew on pieces of wood like the one I found for 3 different reasons. First and foremost, as a food source. They're eating the cambium layer within the tree branch. Secondly, beavers will build dams, and their dams are meant to hold back water. That will raise the water level so that they can access more trees. And lastly, beavers will also build a lodge to live in. And that's where I am right now. Behind me is an actual beaver lodge. Now, it may look like one giant room, but it's actually made up of 2 rooms. The part we're looking at above the water is the dry room of the lodge. But there's another room that we can't see because it's underwater. That's called the wet room. Beavers can hold their breath for up to 15 minutes, so being in the wet room is no problem. Usually their entrance to the lodge is also through the wet room, so they'll swim down and then up. Beavers during the wintertime won't often hibernate and will sometimes stay active underneath the ice, even when it's all frozen out here on Lunston Lake. I hope you learned a little bit about beavers here today. And the next time you're out hiking in Carver Park Reserve, keep your eyes open and you might get a chance to see one yourself. Oh look, here's a beaver now.
Thank you, Josh. Now, today is Friday, which means it's time for questions and answers. And up first, we have a question from our Merlin program. And so here is Laurel to answer what turned out to be a pretty tough question.
Hello, and thank you for sending in your questions. I did answer a couple of those in the comments on Facebook, but I thought it might be fun to check in with the Merlin and interview him and see if he could answer them himself. Hello, Merlin. We have a couple of questions for you. Let me just bring the mic up here so we can hear your answer. Oh, okay. Well, it's just a couple questions, I promise. I can't find answers to them, so I was hoping... Oh, shoot. I was hoping you could help me out. Hang on, let me just bring the mic up. Really? Hold on. Okay, perfect. Here, the questions are, how fast do you fly and how fast or far can you go in a sprint? Can you help us out? Please? No. So, unfortunately, he didn't really feel like talking with me. This is not unusual for the Merlin or any of our birds of prey. Again, they are not pets. They are wild animals. They are education birds, so we have the privilege of working with them, but we don't get to interview them, really. No answers there. The best I could find for the speed of a Merlin that was written up in Information Anywhere was they fly at around 30 miles per hour, which to me sounds okay, decent. I think a lot of birds could go that fast. One of the questions was, how fast can they sprint? I couldn't find an answer to that anywhere, so I'm just gonna throw out probably a conservative guess, 45 miles an hour. This is not a big bird. It's a blue jay sized bird, but it's in the falcon family. These are the fastest birds in the world, so I would guess going 15 miles an hour faster, probably no problem. One of the other questions was, how far can a Merlin sprint? Wow. You have stumped the naturalist. Well done. So I could get kind of geeky on this one and answer with, how do you classify a sprint? In my mind, sprinting is something that you can only sustain for a few seconds. So if we're talking about an effort that is aerobic, you're burning oxygen as the majority of your power, that's kind of how I think about that 30-mile-per-hour flight. If you go anaerobic, that powers a sprint. And that tends to be in a range of 10 seconds up to maybe 30 seconds. So conservatively, let's go with a Merlin could sprint for 20 seconds at, again, conservative guess, 45 miles an hour. I'll have you guys do the math. I'll wait. Hold on, I am getting a message from the Merlin. Huh. Tower, this is Merlin requesting a flyby. Roger that, Merlin. Negative on flyby, the pattern is full. That didn't really answer your question, did it? I mean, it established that Merlins are pretty fast, but we still don't know how fast, so I'm gonna go hit the books. Checking out the Sibley. Nope. Small, compact, powerful, very aggressive. Yes, I would agree with that. Nothing on the speed, so you're gonna have to wait for the numbers. I'll get those done soon, running them through the supercomputer. All right, Merlin sprinting numbers. Again, this is assuming you could sprint for 20 seconds at 45 miles per hour. We changed miles per hour into feet per second. That's 66 feet per second. 20 seconds of sprinting would result in 1320 for feet traveled, and in miles that is 0.25 miles. So in 20 seconds a Merlin could go about a quarter mile. Again, theoretically, because I just picked a number because I can't find anything on it. Okay, that was fun. The Merlin's weight was one of the other questions, and in my Sibley guide, it says that the average weight is around 6.5 ounces or 190 grams. Our Merlin weighs, if he's in the 150s, he's having a really good day. So we put this together just to help you guys visualize in grams. You guys see the sand in here? So hold this back next to me. This is the average weight of the Merlin. It's about 155 grams. That's all I've got for answers for now. You guys have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you around. Till next time.
Thank you, Laurel. That was great. Now, I did have a few questions on my astronomy segment that aired earlier in the week, so I want to tell you about those. John had a good question, which he said, we call the sun, but the moon is just the moon. Why doesn't the moon have a name? Well, John, the moon does have a name. And actually, so does the sun, other than the sun. The sun's technical name is Sol, S-O-L. It's where we get the word solar from. And also we have the word Luna for the moon. It's where the word lunar comes from. So Sol and Luna are the names of the sun and the moon. Good question. Now, Laura asked a really big question. She wants to know, is there life out there besides us in the universe? And or just what do I think about the chances of that happening? I think the chances are extremely high. If you think about just our galaxy, there are billions of stars, like, 200, 400 billion, something like that, in our galaxy. And then there are something like 2 trillion other galaxies out there. As we've used our telescopes to look at stars, we found out that planets are extremely common. Pretty much every star we look at has planets. It seems like planets are part of the star formation process. And by some estimates, there's on average about 4 planets per star that are in that Goldilocks zone where life could arise. So if you just look at the math involved, hundreds of billions of stars times 4, that's how many chances you've got, of getting a planet in the habitable zone. And if conditions are right, a lot of scientists believe that life sort of inevitably starts when conditions are right. All those amino acids and stuff kind of combine out there. So if we look at how big the universe is, it seems kind of strange that there wouldn't be some other form of life. Even if you say, okay, no, life is extremely rare, it only happens once in an entire galaxy. Well, there's still 2 trillion galaxies out there, so that would still be 2 trillion forms of life out there in space. So the numbers are in favor of there being other life out there. I think Carl Sagan, the famous science communicator, summed it up pretty well in his book Contact, when there was a father talking to his daughter, and she asked the same question you did, and she wanted to know if there was life out there. And he thought carefully about it, and he said, well, the universe is a pretty big place, and if it's just us, seems like an awful waste of space. Thanks for tuning in to episode 30 of Lowry at Home, you guys. We will see you all next week. Don't forget our challenge is going on for trying to get to 100 subscribers on YouTube so we can unlock some of those extra features we want to use with you guys. Go ahead and click the link down below in the comments to find the link to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll see you all here next week. Bye-bye.